amazing things being taught tonight. Would you guys agree? Yes or yes? Okay, do you guys feel good with the education that you are receiving tonight? Yes or yes? Okay, this is pure gold. This is people that are coming up here that are championing the business and are winning big and are teaching you how to do that. Is that cool or what? I mean, where else can you go on a Friday night and have people pour life into you and your business and what you're trying to accomplish? I mean, come on, like that fires me up. So, and yeah, the Bentley analogy was like, I was like, I'm in heaven, that's awesome. You know, like I love analogies because my attention span is short, as you guys all witnessed earlier. So listen, you guys, one of the things that I'm going to talk about is the emergency contact. Who is familiar with a shelving unit downstairs with a whole bunch of paperwork? Okay, so a decent portion of us, but there's a lot of us that aren't. Okay, there is a contact request form spot. Okay, there's a piece of paper in there, and that is this deal right here. Okay, I know it's hard to see. I wanted to put a picture of it, but it was still hard to see. But this is downstairs. You want to grab it, okay, because something that is so important, you guys, that you are learning tonight is that this is not, this isn't just about you learning some basics, right? You're going to learn some skills, but you guys, every time that you go on an appointment, your goal is to exhaust every effort and leave with a close. Every effort, okay? So in your mind, you might think I'm going on a KT, so I'll do the presentation. If I don't close, I'll move on. What about recruiting them? What about POPP? If you close the COD, you should leave with a recruit. If you close the COD, you should leave with PLPP, right? So the point is, you guys, is that sale equals destination, okay? So a sale is a destination, and you want to develop as many roads to get there as possible. Yes or yes? Yes. Right? So instead of having one track, you want to have many roads to get there. So go ahead and go to the next slide. Yes. Okay, you guys, so unpaid claims is a really big deal in insurance. Wouldn't you agree that if you are out there as a consumer, which most of you guys should have life insurance, if not all of you, okay? But wouldn't you agree that a great question is, how often do you pay out? Or how does the payout work? Or whatever it is, right? God forbid you pass away. So addressing clients' concerns will put money in your pocket. Many people, they forget the fact that if a client is objecting or a client is going through something where they're asking you questions, you think, oh gosh, this might not close. I was delivering a policy today that it had its ability to kind of go off track and whatnot, but the client just wanted to know more about it. So you gotta be equipped. You gotta be equipped. So one of the things, you guys, that is so important is that we need to learn how to be both hunters and farmers, okay? You need to learn how to hunt and how to farm, okay? Well, when you're at the kitchen table, you close life, right? You're hunting. You hunt, you find that prospect, you close life, and you move on, but now you can farm by getting referrals, so on and so forth. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide there. So here's the thing, you guys. This contact request form works like this. Once you're done with the sale, okay, or if you're going back, you can use this in numerous ways. But the way that this works is you tell your client, Mr. and Mrs. Client, just real quick, before we wrap things up, I want to ask you a question real quick. Have you guys ever watched 60 Minutes? Who in here is familiar with 60 Minutes? Okay, great. So listen, not too long ago, 60 Minutes did a series, it was an episode on companies, life insurance companies, not paying out the claim, okay? They weren't paying out the claim. So thank God we weren't one of those companies that were being addressed, but this is something that we find that's important, right? So this is, if you took a picture of that gives you like a good short 6-minute thing. So what you could literally do is you could say, I just want to show you something real quick. And you show them this, okay? Make sure you have 3 emergency contact request forms when you go on your KTs. Go to the next slide. So what happens is, Mr. and Mrs. Client, is that people don't know that you have applied for life insurance or have this policy in place. So what happens is, God forbid you pass away and nobody else knows about this, it keeps getting charged, you keep getting charged and billed, or something happens, your policy lapses and you lose it, and the life insurance company never knows about it. Well, thank goodness, due to the Social Security death index that we check regularly, we decrease this issue, okay? But what's important is to explain to the client that when that happens, someone else needs to know to make a claim. Does that make sense? Okay, an example just real quick, Melissa and I at our home, okay? 2 years ago, someone had passed away that owned the home, and we're still getting letters to that home from their life insurance company. And it says something to the degree of statements. So they had some sort of whole life or something going on, okay? So that's kind of strange. So what we tell the client is, listen, I want to make sure that someone besides you and your beneficiary know this is out there, okay? As an added step in customer service, I want to make sure that you and everyone else knows that this is something that you've done. 3 other people, right? So this is not the beneficiary, not the contingent. This is someone that is like them. And you address it in that sense, right? Married, own a home, have kids, have jobs. Who can you think of that you would want me to let them know that you have this in place? And what I explain to them is I'll reach out to them, pop by, and get a wet ink signature showing that they know and understand this is the policy you have. They have nothing to do with the beneficiaries, but this is so that someone other than yourself and the beneficiaries know that you have this policy, God forbid something were to happen down the road. Okay? So what that is, you guys, is that's a hot lead right there. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That's a hot lead. Go ahead and go to the next slide. And so what I explained to the client, you guys, is that I'm going to just show up. I want to get a signature. This authorizes me to tell them, along the lines of what you applied for. I'm not going to go into personal information, okay? But basically, you guys, then what happens is sometimes even right there, you'll have the client call the person. Hey, listen, Mark, I just got some life insurance, and my life insurance guy is here. He wants to let you know what I applied for so that you would know that this is something that I have that's outstanding. Does that make sense? Okay, so as far as the emergency contact interaction, it looks along these lines. So when you get there and you pop by, okay, and you explain to them, here's what the client has applied for or has in place, and you explain they got X amount of coverage, this is what it looked like, okay, and then you say, hey, quick question for you guys. Have you guys ever seen 60 Minutes? Show them, right? You can show them right then and there. This is why we're doing this. Now, here's something that's really powerful. It's not on here, but here's something that's really powerful. You ask the person that you are getting the signature from, I got a quick question for you. Who's doing your life insurance? Who's doing your life insurance? Right? And then, I've got it through State Farm or somebody else, right? Awesome. Well, quick question. Did the agent ever come back and get this information from you and let people know? And you've won the sale right there on customer service alone, okay? So keep that in mind. Who do you have your coverage through? Important question. Do you mind if we take a look at that real quick? I would just love to make sure that you are familiar with how your policy works. Does that make sense? So you guys, what's happening is you are able to go on a kitchen table, close, recruit them, and then get leads to go somewhere else. Does that make sense? Okay?
Yeah.
One person's excited. Now, what if they say, oh, we don't have anything right now? Wow. You guys don't have any life insurance? Typically there's 3 reasons why I hear people don't have life insurance.
Right.
Going to the KT, right? So the point is, you guys, is that you have to utilize every method of getting a sale and closing a sale when you're on the KT. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys, just make sure that you grab this, familiarize yourself with this contact request form, use it intelligently. If you've already got clients, call them and say, hey, what's happening? Hope all is well. Quick question for you. Have you ever watched 60 Minutes? Hey, I want to pop by. Right? Does that make sense? Awesome. See you at the top.